Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar, where we're going to talk about Gobots today. And I'm going to ask a couple of questions here, but the main one is, are they better than Transformers? So when you think back on Transformers, a lot of people remember Gobots, or maybe you forget Gobots. But it seems like Transformers sort of won when they were competing back in the 80s. And there's several reasons why they Transformers won, but there's a lot of reasons. I like Gobots, so you're gonna have to make your own mind up which one's better yourself. The thing I like the most about GoBots is that they're all about the same size. And, although in the cartoons, say one character is bigger than the other, when the toys are the same size or so, then, kind of is a bit of a challenge there. But I really like the fact that the scale's not way off. I know Transformers was notorious for having tiny ones and the little mini bots. And then they had regular sized Transformers, and then they had some bigger ones like Jetfire and Blaster and all them. So these guys, if you got the small line, they're all about the same. Super GoBots, they're all about the same size. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. Okay, so there's no mass shifting involved. The thing with GoBots is they didn't transform into something super tiny compared to their mass, kind of like Megatron and Soundwave did. So it's just the lack of mass shifting and all that is really, I think that's a plus for GoBots. So score one for the GoBot team. The other thing is that the toys resembled the cartoon almost exactly. Now, they didn't have the you wouldn't see that kind of articulation in the figure, but the cartoon really did a good job of representing the figure. And in Transformers, they almost completely changed the figure, so I didn't really like that part. The other plus for these guys, GoBots had real simple transformations. And with this tank guy here, he just basically stood up. And they did that with quite a few of the characters, where they just basically folded over in half, and that was their transformation. Now, some of them are a little more complex, but the majority of them are ultra simple and just easy and very intuitive, like they were made for kids or something. That's weird. Now, they did come with some accessories, like that copter's blade there. I don't have this guy's guns out; they're put away, but most of them just came with themselves, and in the cartoon they just shot lasers out of their hands, whatever, which helped with the price point. So they kept these things cheap. They're between $2 and $3 is what I remember buying them for. And when you can get a toy for that cheap and you can collect them all, I think they made like 54 of them, and they made them all in different colors, so like 108 or 110, and there was some specialty ones, and then the dozen or 20 of the super ones. So really, you could affordably collect them all over a few years, and that was really a good line to collect for. So discussing the recolored versions, I didn't like them when I was a kid. I wanted a Psykill, went to the store, couldn't find them, so then I found a recolored Psykill and was like, then I realized in my genius that just wait and go to garage sales and they'll start showing up. The ones you really want, they'll show up in garage sales in a few years, and sure enough they did. So that I lucked out with that. These two, Creepy Crawly, whatever his name is, this recolor just really brings me back because the green one was a Melloway, and I remember waiting for a long time to get this Melloway guy in the mail. And I was so excited when I got it. It just seemed sort of magical, and I didn't even see him in the cartoon, didn't know anything about him. But yeah, I thought he was great. You got the recolors of Crasher, you got recolors of the Leader 1, and this recolor of Leader 1 really bothered me, simply because I really liked the original Leader 1, and I didn't like the recolor on that one. I just didn't think it looked good, and I just felt like it was like the bad guy version of him. Now over here, Scooter. I like Scooter a lot. Didn't like the character, kind of a wussy character. I like the transformation, the fact that you could put more or less one of your three-quarter figures on there, but the mass figures fit perfect Mass figures would go on this thing when I was playing with them back in the day. So we got Super Gobots. Of course, Leader 1, my favorite. Uh, didn't like the Super Gobots aside from Leader 1 and Psykill because they all had, well, this guy had actually a real head. So does this guy. But most of them, their head was the cab, or in this tank, the top part of the tank. But the cab was their head, and that really was Ironhide-ish or Ratchetish from the how ratchet of you. But when you're looking at the G1 Transformers, that's one of the biggest complaints was just that they had no real head on Ratchet and Ironhide. These guys suffer the same thing, and there's Psykill and his. Don't like the fact that his tires don't go on his shoulders. They could have engineered that, and today they should engineer that. So I want to talk about packaging for a second here. Think that this is how you find them on the store, kind of like a Star Wars figure, or a Joe, or anything like that. And during the time it came out in 84 is when they hit US. And, that's what they were competing against. It's the popular packaging style. And I was okay with it. And as you can see, no accessories for Scooter. And, this one's been opened. I didn't pay a whole lot for it, but I just wanted to have some representation. Got a handful of other card backs, too, that don't have the bubble. They've been ripped off. Just didn't feel like digging those out. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Command Center and the Thruster 1. Now, so these things were pretty cool base stations, and I remember back as a Star Wars collector, them talking about, hey, there's an AT-AT's getting released, and the joke was, that ain't no Gobot Command Center, and just funny how they make the connection there. But this had a lot of play features. This one's missed a couple things. I didn't get my box one out for this video, but it's pretty cool toy. But really, I felt that it should be more like a carrying case. Like a lot of people complain about the Rebel Transport. It should have been a carrying case. So there's some interesting play features in this guy. There's a head. I don't really know who all can sit in that thing. Trapdoor. Makes some noise. Probably not any noise anybody wants to hear these days. This head turns around. Don't want to mess with all that. But anyway, they have some play features. They're pretty cool. You can stack your guys in and make displays. Rock Lords, this is kind of like a last-ditch effort. There was a Rock Lords the movie, but this was kind of something I didn't like when I was a kid. I had the Gold Bug, or Gold Nugget, whatever, and I thought it was pretty cool. The rest of them I really didn't care about, but I never went after these. They just showed up in a lot that I was buying, and I just held on to them, so here they are. So they had this power suit guy, and again, not something I went after. I just happened to come across the centerpiece, and I knew I had some arms and legs and stuff, and the feet. And if I picked it up cheap, I got it. I don't have the hands, the fists. I mean, I think like $5 a piece or something. And then what you do is you stick a GoBot in each one of the power suits, and then I think you can even fit one in there. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's kind of a cool idea. It's sort of a Gestalt combiner. Talk a little bit more about the other combiner here in a second. So the Puzzler was another combiner that they had that was an actual combiner. And these figures actually were a little bigger than the Matchbox size. And I'm going to show you a Matchbox comparison here in a second. But this was really a good combiner, and I missed out on the whole thing when I was younger. But, it comes with the fists already part of the figure, the way you transform the feet. The feet are just part of it. You don't have to do parts forming. You don't have to get other pieces to make it work. It all just works. And kind of like Devastator, it takes 6 of them. A little comparison to a Hot Wheels. A little dusty there, but they're about Hot Wheels size. And see, Hot Wheels was really popular, and that's really another plus to GoBots is, Hot Wheels. If I dig through Hot Wheels at a garage sale, I usually find a handful of Gobots. That's where I've gotten a few of mine. So I just want to talk about kind of the future of Gobots, which is very cloudy. There's this Action Machine Robo toy that's coming out, and I don't like the fact that it's not based on a cartoon, which I think it should be. And it really doesn't make sense that they say it's based on Action Machine Robo or whatever. It's a comic book or something, and they don't look like the cartoon. Well, guess what? The toys that the comic book was based off, or that were all in conjunction in the Action Robo, were the same ones we saw in the cartoon. So why does it look like this? I don't understand. So, I mean, are we really skewing far from the source material on this thing? So DX9 here now, these guys are trying to stick a little bit closer to the source material, but I think they missed the mark too. So I'd like to see an actual masterpiece line, and let me know in the comments what you'd want out of a masterpiece line, or if they picked up Gobots again. How do you think Gobots would look on a masterpiece shelf? Would you rather have them the 6-inch size like the Super Gobots, or rather have them the 9-inch size scale with the MP10 and all of what's going on now? Would you rather go 12-inch and be true to what Masterpiece began as and really should have been? So like and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Is Gobots really better than Transformers? You decide. You let me know. And I just didn't see a whole lot of Gobot videos on YouTube. So if there's any of these other ones that you want to see a little more in depth, let me know. And I will probably throw a video up there for it. And if there's any other franchise from the 80s that you're interested in seeing, I have most. And I could do a bit of a collection video on those too. Thanks, like and subscribe, and come back to Imperial Hangar.